Hey everybody, welcome back to another comparison video. Today I've got some great devices to compare for you. On the left hand side here we have the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 and on the right hand side we have the Nokia Lumia 830. Both of these devices were just recently released in Q4 of 2014 and both of these devices are considered the flagship devices for their respective manufacturers. Stay tuned everybody, we're going to compare these two devices. We're going to look at their screen, their specs, their cameras, and we're going to help you decide which device is best for you. So let's talk a little bit about these devices. Let's start with the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 first. The Samsung Galaxy Note 4 is priced at $800 off contract. It's running an octa-core processor with 3 GB of RAM. Its screen is 5.7 inches. It's an AMOLED display and it's Quad HD, which means that the resolution is 2560 by 1440. On the right hand side for the Nokia Lumia 830, it's a quad-core processor. It has a quad-core processor with 1 GB of RAM. It has a 5-inch IPS LCD display. The display resolution is much lower at 1280 by 720p. So with those specs, you can understand why the Galaxy Note 4 would be double the price of the Lumia 830 here. Now, the way Samsung has customized Android with Samsung's overlays and with their software add-ons, the Note 3 definitely needs those 3 GB of RAM over the 1 GB that the Nokia Lumia has. So for example, the way Samsung has set up the device, you can run multiple applications at once. So I can pull up the Play Store here, I can minimize it, or I can make it have a smaller window here. So let's try that and drag and drop it there. And we can also, let's say, open up Chrome, make that smaller as well. And so there we go. We have multiple windows running at the same time with the Note 4. So definitely you're going to need more RAM in order to keep both applications running at the same time so that you can multitask. On the other hand here, with the way that Windows has been set up, Windows has been built from the ground up to be very smooth, so the system requirements are actually much lower here. In addition to that, Windows doesn't actually, as far as I know, have multitasking in the sense that we have here on the Note 4. You can access your most recently used applications here, similar to the way you can on stock Android as well as iOS. However, you don't really have the same level of multitasking that you do with the Samsung. Now, when it comes to gaming, you're probably wondering which device is better. Well, with the Samsung running an octa-core processor and 3 GB of RAM, I've tried every game that I could think of. None of the games have ever slowed down or stuttered. The Note 4 handles it like a champion. With the Nokia here, I've tried Asphalt 8. I've heard complaints, or I've heard people make comments that Asphalt 8 is actually stutters and lags with the Nokia. I have personally not found that myself. I've tried a couple of other games like Temple Run 2. Nokia's ran that perfectly fine. I actually found that both devices ran the games very well. There are some games on the Play Store that aren't available on the Nokia, so I wasn't able to directly compare all of the games, but I found that with whatever games I tried on each device, they both ran very well. Let's talk about the cameras for both of these devices here. For the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, we have a 16 megapixel camera on the back. The camera can record a video maximum of 4K at 30 frames per second. When you're looking at 1080p video, you can record it at 30 frames a second or 60 frames a second. With the Nokia Lumia here, still pictures, we have 10 megapixels. For video, it has a maximum of 1080p at 30 frames per second. For both cameras, when you're comparing images of subjects that are well lit, you're going to get very good quality images out of both cameras here. Now, when you're looking at images of low light situations, that's when you're probably going to see the difference. What I was surprised to find was that with the Samsung camera, when I took a picture of something in low light, the image actually came out a little bit more blotchy than the Nokia camera. Let's have a listen to the speakers of both devices here. Now, both devices have the speakers on the back of the phone. Right now, I have the volume set to the max for each device, so we'll hear which one has a louder and clearer speaker. Let's start off with the Galaxy Note 4. Okay, now let's try the Nokia Lumia 830. The speakers on both of these devices are very comparable. I think they're about the same here. If I had to choose one, I would say that the Samsung Note speaker is slightly louder and is more tight around the base than the Nokia, but really when you put them side by side, they're very comparable and they sound very similar. So either way, the speakers are good on either device. So what is the biggest differences between these two devices other than the operating system that they run? Let's look at the Nokia Lumia 830 here first. So the Nokia Lumia 830, when the screen is off, you actually, if you can see it in the video here, on the bottom left-hand side, you have a little clock that just lights up there. It says the date and the time, and that just kind of hovers there on the bottom left-hand side. So when the screen is off, you can still see what time it is. In addition to that, when you double tap the screen here, the screen actually wakes up and you can turn on your device. You don't have to press any of the buttons on the side here to wake up the device. However, if you do want to wake it up, you can also, when the screen is off, you can use the physical camera button here to turn on the camera and the screen. There you go. It goes straight to the camera. That's very handy. Now, the Samsung device does not have a double tap to wake feature. So what you'll have to do with the Note 4 here is you'll have to turn on the device either by pressing the physical home button or by pressing the power button located on the left-hand side of the device. So what does the Note 4 have over the Lumia 830? Well, for one here, the Note 4 has that beautiful 5.7-inch Quad HD screen. You're not going to see any pixels and everything's just going to look really amazing. Everything just looks great. In addition to that, the Samsung Note 4 here has that octa-core processor. It has the 3 GB of RAM, as I said earlier. So you have a powerhouse phone here that's going to be able to run many different applications. It's going to be able to run some very processor-intensive applications, and you're going to be able to do multitasking. In addition to that, the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 also has going for it the 4K video that it can take at 30 frames per second or 1080p video at 60 frames per second. So it takes better video. Finally, also has what it's most famous for, which is the stylus. You'll be able to do many productivity tasks with the stylus. You'll be able to use the device in different ways with the stylus that you can't use it with when you're using the Nokia. So that's what the Note 4 has going for it, and I think that's one of the key selling points of the Note 4. Well everyone, that's my comparison of the Samsung Galaxy Note 4 with the Nokia Lumia 830. If you like this video, hit the like button below and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Leave your questions, comments, and requests in the comment section below. I'd love to hear more from you guys. I'd love to hear your feedback. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.